Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly referee today, because today we're carrying on with our ongoing campaign, playing Mongoose Publishing's outstanding science fiction role-playing game, Traveler, 2nd edition. And we are making use of material from both the Pirates of Drinax campaign, as well as material from the Borderland Run module, which we have concluded. So if you do want to... the spoilers for Borderland Run are likely to be very inconsequential. The spoilers for Pirates of Drinax may be more consequential. So proceed at your own discretion. If you are sticking around, let me introduce you to the stars of today's session. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing today? First up, we've got Graham.
Hi, I am Graham. I am playing Laris Zathu, a Darien analyst, who is, I think, currently going with the flow. Whichever drain that we are going to descend into, he'll just go with it.
Next up is Carl.
Hello, I'm Carl, and I'm playing Anchor Gubel, who is a Vargar, but he's a Vargar not from the extents. He rose in the ranks of the Imperial Navy, and he is our resident sniper today, I think.
Nice. Next up is David.
Hi everyone, I'm David. I'm playing Dr. Ilyas Abdel, physician and part owner of the Rift Wanderer, who is not looking forward to this whole setup, but needs must.
Nice.
Lives are to be saved.
And last, but certainly not least, is Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm playing Alonso Santoro. He is an author and a journalist, and not responsible for our current situation.
Nice. So guys, I just heard a sound, and I want to make sure that Anna Banana's okay. Why don't you guys tell us what happened last time? I'll be back momentarily.
We did a lot of planning.
Yeah.
We did. There was planning and plotting, and had a very nice discussion about are we the bad guys? Are we doing the right thing? Can we trust Solomon? Is any of this real? Should we be doing this? But I think we agreed that on the likelihood of probabilities, we should be doing this, seeing as there's a girl's life at stake, and we might not have all of the information, but we're probably doing the right thing, possibly. We're not entirely sure. But we came up with a plan of sorts and communicated that plan with our benefactor, Princess Zara, who I think, Carl, was it the first time Anchor finally met her?
Yes, finally.
in the flesh. And she sort of endorsed our plan, but added a whole thing of saying, like, kill them all, none must live. I'm slightly paraphrasing her, but she was very heavily implying that she would prefer it if, dead agents are the best kind of agent that don't cause any future trouble. But obviously the Doctor has some issues with, but we are where we are. So our plan is to, when the vessel with the two psychics and the girl arrives, meet them in their hangar and hope for the best. I think it's what it often boils down to in the situations where we will have snipers or one sniper meeting committee, and we'll try and talk them out of it. But given how Princess Rao wants them all dealt with, violence seems at this stage somewhat inevitable, unfortunately, from the Doctor's point of view. But he'll try the young psychic. And we found out that there was some discussion around Alonso's contact in the Peerless Passage, which is a famous doctor from a while ago, who then sort of did something really great and then kind of disappeared, but then founded Peerless Passage after eradicating sort of a sector-wide plague. Does not appear to be a psychic himself, but unfortunately also the Peerless Passage vessel will arrive after the ship that's carrying our two psychics and the kidnapped girl, so they can't really be of any assistance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, I don't think so. Those are the
some side drug to boost Alonso's psychic powers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You might want to read the side effects too, just to be informed consent to making use of those.
I thought we went with the less dangerous one.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I believe the last thing that happened actually, I didn't look, so apologies if I get this wrong. I thought it was that you guys were leaving the meeting with Princess Rao and having a discussion among the crew as to what you're going to do here. Let me bring you over to Drinax.
yeah, we had a clandestine meeting that never happened, that no one was at.
Oh, right, yeah.
Some like catacombs under the palace. Gravity dungeons were mentioned repeatedly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was your first visit to the vicinity of the gravity dungeons. So, leaving. I don't think that Solomon is involved with this discussion, and I don't think you have Ultima 1 with you. So,
Yeah, correct.
you now find yourself as well short a captain / sniper.
I think.
So,
Did
Yeah,
you're the sniper?
Yeah, man. I don't know if anyone else is.
No, I'm not equipped for that.
so
Same.
what are you guys going to do then?
We're going to dither around and fumble. And
For those listening, I hope you enjoy the next 16 sessions of
yeah,
real-time playing out until they actually arrive.
stick with it, everyone. Be amazed at how long it takes us to do anything.
Oh goodness.
Now, what we need to get, I assume, is some kind of like stun grenades and smoke grenades to give us every advantage we can. And I think we discussed that if there's smoke and they cannot see a target, they cannot use their awful Zolani psychic powers on them. Or so we've been told.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Right, they need to see. Well, Alonso, you probably know something about this. They need to see someone to
I think the more
Right.
accurate way
teleport them
to
into the sun and all of that.
the more accurate way to describe it would be they need to sense someone.
Yeah. Mm.
But again, all psychics have different abilities too. So
Yeah.
you know, just because the threat of this, the captain could share all the horror stories of the Zodani jump marines, but it doesn't necessarily mean that all the Zodani agents, particularly the espionage agents. Not for nothing, if you're sending an espionage agent into the Imperium, there would potentially be a value in not having a, incredibly powerful psychic going in. Because if we use the scanners that you had access to, Dr. Ilias, it would reveal the relative psi power of the person. So while there are ways of concealing those things, there's an argument to be made for the best psychics to use for infiltration would be those of middling variety.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
Well,
not saying that's
maybe
the
that's a
case.
little comforting.
Yeah. So, what is it you're intending on doing then? Are you guys going to just shoot these guys and get the girl? Are you going to try and talk them out of things and leave it to them to react? Or is there some middle ground between those two?
We had come up with an elaborate and quite probably flawed plan where we would go and have a nice chat with them, and if that didn't go well, we might have to shoot them, and we would have Ultima 1 invisible and grabbing the girl. Further to our discussion with the princess, sort of clinical annihilation seems to be the preferred option. We just take them down. We've only got one sniper now, though. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So one at a time.
We need.
We have to have someone else there with a weapon.
We do. I
and
think so.
close up. Or something.
gracious.
Who's better, Alonzo or?
I could throw a spreadsheet at them. I don't know if that would help.
The compound interest.
My gun combat is a total of a -1? Oh no! You know what? I have gun combat, and then I have a specialty that I actually, until now, because I've never been in a gunfight, never determined which one it was. I literally, when I made the character, I put TBD.
I mean, I assume that's the total body kill weapon, right?
Yeah, the total death to all,
Oh, destruction, I guess.
I think I just never decided which weapon, I don't know, he was trained in.
What?
But I believe the training was from Ankar.
Okay.
If my
There'd be,
memory
like,
serves me
some sort of
correctly.
combat.
So it would be one of the ones you have, probably.
Yeah. So I have. What do I have?
Under your gun combat specialties.
The specialties are slug, energy, or archaic.
Slug.
Right. Slug is what you have, so then slug would be what I have.
Okay. You sure
So
you don't have
TBD.
training in blowpipes?
Yeah, so I have slug at my skill is 3
Okay.
total. And slug.
That's not bad.
Could be an homage to Steve's character is using the blowgun all the time.
Well, that's not bad.
wishing to add to rumors about me being a spy, but the doctor can handle a gun if he has to. He doesn't like it.
Oh, yeah.
Can handle
Oh,
the gun a little bit, not quite as well as you, Alonso, but I know which end to point at them.
Okay.
Oh.
So, then, what do you guys think? You have your shooters, it seems.
Yeah.
There's a certain point where you guys are like standing before a mock, hollow display of this, where you're determining where the lines of, the assassins are going to be, where someone is going to turn to someone else and be like, "Are we the baddies?"
Yeah, it feels that way.
Have you seen our caps?
oh man.
Oh dear.
But I guess given that Princess Rao wants them dealt with, there is no much point in talking to them other than giving away the element of surprise, which we might desperately need to make this work.
Yeah.
That is quite true.
Approach them like, well, we were going to go in there as like maintenance personnel type of thing, right?
Trouble being is that those, I think there was some discussion of making use of psychic protection helmets, and those are not going to be mistaken for anything other than what they are.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? 'Cause if you're walking up with the, spaceman spiff dome on your head, it's kind of obvious, especially for a Zotani agent, what's going on. The alternative would be to wear a full body suit for it, in which case, likewise, they're going to know kind of what's going on.
Yeah.
That may not be a bad thing necessarily, but
Solomon, do we know what they look like? I think we know what Evie looks like, or looked like when she was new.
he has those grainy photos of the two.
Yeah, so we want to make sure we shoot the right people.
Yeah. Let me.
I believe there are other passengers on board, just to make sure everyone knows who to target.
Yeah.
Just blow up the entire transport. It's the only way to be sure, Give me 2 seconds here.
Oh my goodness.
So it's just shoot them, and then on a signal, or not even on a signal, Ultima One swoops in and grabs the girl.
Yeah, I think that should definitely be part of the plan. He's best suited for that.
Which you will resist, but yeah.
I guess the other thing we might have to deal with is other passengers and crew coming to the defense of their fellow passengers.
All right. Well,
That could be
Thinking
awkward.
that we're the bad guys.
How did they get that impression?
Okay. Number one.
I mean, there was already try to get in and get out right really quickly. But
And number two.
Oh no. They have to be these nice young people.
Yeah, I know, right? I was just thinking, they're pretty good kills.
Look at that smile, that hopeful smile.
I know. Oh man.
it's a good thing. It's a good thing Anchor doesn't really.
Yeah. You all look the same.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's. I mean, hopefully the stun grenade or the slot grenades will dissuade any retaliation, but that is a possibility. I mean, I could always try to use suppressive fire after the main targets are.
We just need to be
neutralized.
careful because we've got our main prize will be in close proximity to our targets. So,
Right. Well, I mean, suppressive fire, like I, would fire.
I see. Yeah.
At the people coming out of the ship anyway, right?
Right. So not curtain of death.
Right.
I'm so glad we finally made this trip to Drinax. We've been saving our entire life for. Go! Susan! Susan!
Oh my goodness. No. This plan just does not feel right to Alonzo, that's for sure.
Well, welcome to the murky, grubby world of espionage, which Dr. Ilias and only Dr. Ilias fully understands.
Oh my goodness.
Have you looped in Ultima 1 for your planning? Or are you guys staying down below with just the crew?
You really ought to be told.
Yeah, I think once we're back on the ship and discussing this, we'll see he has such an integral part.
Well, and here's something that's been. Do you recall, Dr. Ilias? You have not spoken to Ultima 1 about his, his willingness to engage in violence, but has he offered to assist in fighting in any capacity thus far?
No. I don't think he's
No. Right.
no.
Maybe he has some, Asimov programming.
Hmm.
I mean, I guess with our plan, he doesn't have to do any fighting. His main mission will be to protect the girl.
He did volunteer to save that other girl as well, too, but I don't believe that the volunteer involved him with any weaponry. And I can't remember if you guys took him either. I think you might have left him behind, did you? I think that was all you guys doing the fancy flying and the infiltration.
Yeah.
Yes, I think he wasn't on the ground with us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's... Okay.
But obviously, and also no one died during that mission, right?
That we're aware of. There are widows, however, who tell tales
Yeah.
I think some of us died inside.
of the ghost. The ghost that comes in the night. So, where would you guys like to go? Do you want to head back to your ship? Do you want to head back to where you're staying? I think we established that you guys were staying somewhere, not in a Traveler's Aid Society residence, but you're staying in something similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are we doing, guys?
Go back to the ship to talk to Ultima 1. To believe he's not left the ship, has he?
Let's make sure he's on board,
Yeah.
as it were.
Okay. So if you return to the ship, you find him. Oh, go back to the ship. Bless you. Voila. You find him busy. What would he be doing? I think perhaps reviewing the records that you delivered or that you secured, Laris. See if you can learn something more from that.
Okay. Yeah.
And so you guys arrive, and he, I think his quarters are on deck 2, right? Do you want him to join you in the common room for the chat, or do you want to? Does that one of you want to go and speak to him, or you just want to bring everybody, with a interest of what's happening? I'm assuming Solomon is still staking out the Banam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's have a crew meeting in the common room.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's time.
So if you come down, Ultima 1 will ask, and how was the meeting with the royal benefactor? That good, eh?
Yeah.
It went well in a way, as is often the way with those sorts of meetings. She was very clear that the plan, which we need to discuss with you, was acceptable to them, and in that sense they would work with us on that plan. However, her specific concerns were a little different to ours, and those were that with active Zodani agents on Drinax, any operation that would involve interrupting their mission would involve effectively, finally and very quickly killing them, so that there was no potential for any escape, news, confusion that would cause any further problems to Drinax. She was very final about that and felt that a lethal solution would be required to effect the escape of this particular hostage.
I see.
And on that basis, we have had to consider how we undertake the plan, insofar as it has to incorporate fully that requirement from the royalty.
I see. She has placed us, in a compromising position.
Which she will have enjoyed.
She was quite young when I made my acquaintance of Princess Rao, assuming that is who you met with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But she seemed, like her father, to enjoy what she understands as intrigue.
Oh, yes.
We have the fortune of leaving behind what ever occurs here. Drinax most certainly does not. So perhaps it is understandable that she wishes to have no lingering aggrieved agents from a hostile power.
Mm-hmm.
And I think having espionage agents simply disappear in Drinax likely serves their interests as well.
Mm.
It will no doubt be some time before the Zodani become aware of the fate of their agents, the unknown is always something to over-assess as far as strength is concerned. So perhaps there is a stratagem there as well. But are our interests aligned with Drinax?
Are our interests?
Does it serve our interests and those of this girl to do as the princess has asked? It appears that there is good reason for why this would benefit Drinax. I might ask how it benefits us. This is a very effective, it is a very ruthless way to achieve our goals, to save this child. The princess, I would suspect, has come to her decision in part by asking what next. If we let them live, then what next?
Right.
For them, a great deal of trouble, I don't doubt. Or potential. If they are dead, then what next? The Zodani question whether the death and disappearance is an accident, is caused by Drinax. So for our crew, and for this girl, I ask you, if you do not follow her plan, what next?
Yeah.
So we can weather her displeasure. I think she won't be pleased with us, but she won't do anything too extreme. We can still be useful to her. I think she would see it as a waste of assets to just, throw us in these, are they called gravity dungeons? I've been hearing some mutterings about. But no doubt we'll have to do an extra favor or something to regain her forbearance if we fail in the whole kill them all attempt.
With respect, Dr. Ilias, we don't know that.
No, we don't.
And as much as I accept that Ultima One has some knowledge of Princess Brow, she's maybe done quite a bit of growing up since that time. And as such, we do not have the data, the information really, to assess how she would react. I would suggest that she was most definite in her requirements, and to compromise what she might see the state by a perhaps more lenient approach to this operation. Well, of course, it's not just her, it's her father as well. It is a little unpredictable as to how that might turn out, in my view.
King Oleb, I do have direct experience with, and he can be quite mercurial. Clever, more so than he lets on, but mercurial.
Yeah. And it's very difficult when there's a head of state who seems to vacillate between one thing and another, and it's very hard to weigh down. We all have experience of that.
What if this is just their way of having leverage on us going forward to get us to do whatever they want here? The royalty of Drinax. If we kill these people and they can forever hold that over us to get us to continue to do what they want. Are we worried about being beholden to their future desires?
I think this operation is instructive as to what a longer term arrangement with them might feel like. Doesn't feel that good to me.
No, it doesn't.
No. But that doesn't help us right now.
Yeah.
Well, it could if we don't take the action that they desire.
And as we say in Darien, do a runner. I think the likelihood of us getting away would be slim, but
Do we have the best pilot in the sector?
I was going to say, you do have the reputation before you that maybe you're the crew that can do it.
Right.
To leave without the girl, or to leave with the girl and Solomon?
With the girl and Solomon, without necessarily killing the agents.
Right. To flee instead of fulfilling this assassination, to just flee, Drinax. Maybe we're not welcome in this sector of space, but it might be better than to be forever beholden to what they want.
They've given us an indication how they work.
That's the beauty of space and the ship. There's a lot out there, and unlike, say, a megacore like GDCO, they don't quite have to reach to hunt us everywhere.
GDCO!
Right.
Oh, we have the reach.
Oh yeah, GDCO, yes, but not Drinax, maybe. So
Right. There's a reason they only control this part of space here, this planet.
Right, yeah. So we just obviously in our lifetimes might not come back to Drinax or the immediate surroundings, but
Right. They are unlikely to send agents out across space to search for us just for this small betrayal.
All right. So if we're uncomfortable with the terms at which they wish us to operate, then we should operate in terms that we are comfortable with. But that's going to cause problems. And our operation needs to accommodate for that, which is also about getting out. And it's going to involve speaking to these agents. It's going to involve something quite different. Certainly we could have Anchor ready if necessary. But rather than preemptively shooting them, we're going to have to speak to them and try and work out a way of resolving this without necessarily killing them.
Right.
And we could try that. We could try that first. In which case, let's try that.
We can we can still have people in an overwatch position to, in case things go sideways, but I don't know. I would feel more comfortable if we at least tried to resolve this peacefully.
In which case, let's do that.
Right, well, hopefully you're protected against them trying to control you.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think they can be. I think they can, even with psi shields, they can still control you. Who wants to do the talking?
if we talk to them, need to have some kind of leverage. I imagine they're not just going to hand her over for her, the greater good or anything like that. So maybe we can distract them, but then Ultima 1 to just go with plan, grab Evie and run.
Look over there. Look.
I'll deploy the long-held strategy of got your nose.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So
try.
Ultima 1 says, if one of these agents is a telepath, as odds would suggest is the case,
Mm-hmm.
then they may, with even cursory scanning, if it is foremost in your mind, know the full contours of the princess's plan. Without presenting that as a threat or alternative, that potentially could be a way of communicating the alternative outcome without presenting it as a threat.
Right. Without even showing that we are acting against the wishes of the princess by just offering an alternative of a peaceful exchange. It's a threat, an unuttered threat.
A practicality. If I was not present for your meeting with Princess Rao, but was there ambiguity in her desires?
No.
As Lara stated, I think she was pretty clear.
Very clear.
Then it is possible that would be a way of communicating the alternative, though that would require you to be accessible to a telepath.
Yeah. And that's fair enough. How would you feel about that, Alonso? Would that be something that you would be particularly attuned to do? I mean, I know that they can scan anybody.
And even though he's not strong in it, even Alonso has an instinctive psi shield up whenever he... so it would reflect that you were letting someone in. That'd almost be like letting someone look at your homework, as it were.
Right.
You know? Which in and of itself could communicate meaning, you know?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could do that. I mean, that lets them in, and they are more powerful than me. I'm not sure what they would be capable of doing to me at that point. There's definitely some concern there.
You guys remember the old Warner Brothers cartoon with the singing frog? That, I imagine.
Yeah.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
Yeah. A lot like that. I mean, I could. I guess I'd be willing to take that risk for for the chance at a peaceful outcome to this.
I think you have already said so, yes.
Yeah. No, take the risk of letting them into my mind, which is even another layer of danger.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it more dangerous if they take over another telepath like yourself, Alonso, or a normie like me?
Mechanically speaking, I think Alonso has a better chance of actually resisting. Not a I mean, keep kicking Alonso in his weakest doing the equivalent of kicking sand in your face at the beach, telepathically speaking, but it's not substantially stronger, but you've at least got a better chance of resisting than what a non-telepath does.
Okay, fair enough.
And this sort of suggestion capability that telepaths have, it is a telepathic power, so they're quite likely to have it.
I would guess that based on being agents acting in the field, there's a high chance that at least one of the two will have
So yeah,
this kind of power, for sure.
yeah, agreed.
Trained in it. It could be well trained in it. I mean, what better way to move around the world as agents but to change everyone's mind as you go, rather than have to worry about being a good liar.
Yeah.
What role, if any, should Solomon play in this?
I mean, theoretically, he verifies to the young woman the assignment he's been given and why we're doing what we're doing. Would that be his role? Or is there a more active role in the communication with the agents?
Think of his role mostly after we've rescued her. Yes, he has spoken to her parents and comes from her world and all of that. He could do some pastoral care and potentially, with the help of Peerless Passage, make sure she gets home safely or gets somewhere safely if we think home isn't safe. So I guess there's nothing stopping the Sultani for sending more agents to kidnap her again if she just goes back home. Because if he's present, he might also be, he's been hunting these people for a long time. His emotions might get the better of him.
Yeah, agreed.
So I wasn't thinking he should be with us when we meet them, but maybe nearby or in reserve to help
We have to make that.
once he's been rescued.
Yeah, we'd have to make that clear to him what his role is.
How many days do we
Assuming this
have?
goes well, and we get Evie, they realize that,
The game is up.
appearing into Alonso's mind that the alternative is, death. Once we have Evie, and let's say we let them go, and they let us go, and we then just hoover back to the ship and do a runner before Rao realizes. Presumably there'll be cameras in this hangar, and someone will.
Oh, I think
There's
everything.
drones and such, so presumably she won't be hours until she finds out. We've reneged on our part of this plan. She'll know instantly.
Well, unless, of course, the cameras lie. And maybe that's the part that I can play. And buy us some time. Don't know. Is that what we're going to do then? We've got Anchor in a sort of sniper position just in case. We've got Alonso, possibly yourself, Dr. Ilias, as a welcoming committee to explain the situation. I can be trying to manipulate the electronic data feeds, if I can hack into them, to, let's say, massage what's going on. And we've got a limited amount of time from your negotiation to us getting off Drinax. So maybe we try that. If that's the plan, shall we let Solomon Chase know what it is and have him ready to negotiate and to discuss what's going on with our female captor that we're trying to rescue?
I think so. That sounds like we're on the same page.
Very well. Then that's what we will do.
Should I then be present and concealed?
I think that'd be useful.
Yeah.
Ultima One, yes.
Yeah, that is never a bad thing, Ultima.
You flatter me, Doctor. Allow me to activate blush mode.
Oh, it's very good. Gosh.
Then, do you guys want to call Solomon back to the ship, or you want to just talk him over the combat?
No, shit.
Okay.
Yeah, we better have this conversation in person.
Yeah.
Ultima
how
One
many-
will change back to Yuri and says, perhaps I could take a stroll down by customs.
Perhaps.
So trade off. Well, sorry, Carl, speaking over you.
Yeah. How many days do we have? Still?
I think it's tomorrow they're arriving, or tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it wasn't long. It was less
Yeah, it
than
was
that.
there and a half, yeah, before the conveyor gets here.
And then it's like shortly
I won't-
afterwards when the
Yeah,
Peerless
I
Passage.
Yeah, based on this discussion, I don't know if I have time, but I need to go shopping again.
Okay. Ricondo's Bazaar is open until 9.
Okay. Is that still open? Maybe I can go with Yuri if he wants to go to Ricondo's Bazaar.
With who?
Well, anyway, I need to make a shopping trip. at some
What
point.
do you need?
Concussion rounds.
Okay. Concussion rounds.
They're in the specialized ammunition in the central supply.
Such a fine, you got it. Wow. The one thing I will say, I do.
There's chemical rounds too, but concussion seems.
Can I have depleted uranium? I want to cause cancer to Drinax and kids.
There's worse rounds. I mean, there's
Gee.
Yeah, once you get to the
There's
mercenary
chemical
book, there's some pretty war crimey stuff in there. Sorry, Carl. What page?
page 179.
179. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Concussion rounds. Oh yeah, those easy. Yeah, round 7. It's actually like beanball.
Yeah.
Beanbag? Beanbag, not beanball.
Yeah. I was confused by that line, but it just means it doesn't affect normal operation of the gun or ammunition.
Hmm.
And then there's on the page before it tells you, I mean, Gauss is not on there, so
Yeah.
like the Captain Ghani couldn't find any of this stuff for his mag rail weapon, but for the Gauss it should be available. It's up to you.
I think the mag rail stun rounds are still going to go right through someone's chest.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, those are definitely, you could acquire those at Ricondo's Bazaar. Open till 9.
Okay.
Then, so Anchor was going to go out with Yuri to go, and then you guys kind of separate off. You have some time between when they leave and when Solomon will arrive. Anything you guys wish to discuss before he arrives, or do you want to cut to when he gets to the ship? And if he does get to the ship, is the meeting in the passenger lounge or in the crew lounge? In which case, they get to learn about how the better coffee machine is in the crew lounge.
How much nicer it is, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can never go back from that.
It's a bell you can't unring.
Huh.
Every sip of the coffee is going to be just a fucking bitter reminder. One deck down. That's the kind of thing that sits with a man. My filter should be in black and white now.
I was about to say, presumably, for Solomon, all coffee tastes bitter and sepia tone, like
Exactly.
black and white, disappointing. Just like
It tastes like the bitter ending of the first love. So, where would you guys like to meet him? You could meet him in the cargo hangar, I suppose, as well.
I think it should be the crew.
Yeah. I think he's been in the crew lounge before.
He has,
It was
yeah.
left to him. So yeah, there's no reason not to.
When you guys didn't want to have a candle over here.
Yeah.
I'm sure we won't see her again. Then my goal with every single one of the most hated characters is to slowly pull a Jaime Lannister and have you guys pull him for him by the end. So, we did have last session. You guys were like, it would be really great to have Mr. Grookson and Owen Tian here. So
Yeah, of course, that would be Princess Rao's ultimate revenge. She'll release Mother Candle and send her after us.
yeah. Then Solomon arrives and is escorted into where you guys, I guess, escort him in, and he says, "Did you speak to the princess? Then do we have a plan?"
We do, but it's complicated. And isn't going to be necessarily entirely in keeping with our benefactor's wishes.
You're going against what she wants.
Yes.
That's the plan currently, yes. She wants more death than we are comfortable with.
Okay. What's your plan?
Walk him through the plan of welcome committee, try and keep it civil, let them see into from Alonso's mind the or else option without having to spell it out, and hoping that they'll be reasonable. And also explain to him that part of our plan would be for him to not be present at that exchange, but to be ready to help Evie once we have secured her.
I know you guys have told him that there's absolutely no smoking on here, but somehow he has a cigarette once again, and he takes a long drag of it as he considers what you've said. What is the princess going to do?
That's where we're not necessarily of one mind or certain what will happen. The still somewhat naive ivory tower doctor in me hopes that she'll be reasonable about it. Laris has rightfully pointed out that we cannot necessarily assume that, and that she might be very cross and mercurial about it.
And it'll leave these bastards to keep taking kids. You can see he's really struggling with this. But what he lands on, unless you interrupt him, is you've done more than I could have asked for. And achieve things that, I'll be honest, I thought you were crazy for attempting. Your robot tells me that you've got intelligence on this kidnapping ring.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
What do you plan to do with that?
We assume that the good captain will pass it on to some of his friends in the Imperium.
He has you splash cold water on his face. You're telling the Imperium about where a bunch of psychic kids can be located?
No, about the spine, the Zudani spy network. Apologies if I misunderstood, Solomon. But I'm fairly certain the captain is quite keen to send information about the spy operation. And that the Bonhomme is compromised, that he'll pass on. I understand the Imperium's stance on psychic kids isn't very enlightened, so I would not wish to endanger anyone, but I believe the captain would be quite keen to pass on the active spy network part of it. Which ships are compromised and all of that. But do you think that would endanger any of the children?
I don't know what's in there, and it's not my place to say what you do with what you found. But if he did ask what I wanted done, the people at Peerless seem to be the only ones who have a vested interest in what these kids and these people want. I think if you could share that with them too, they might do something good with that. And any telepaths or psychics that happened to be retrieved, they wouldn't be in Imperial hands then. But I don't... If you think there's a way of talking a way out of this, so she doesn't have to see that kind of violence, I trust you. And he kind of... And I thank you. This is more than any of you took on, and more than anyone could be expected to do for another person, let alone for an Imperial captain to do for a telepath. Thank you.
And perhaps you could assist us in relaying that information to Peerless.
I'll be happy to do that. More than happy.
Good. That sounds like a good arrangement.
Where do you need me to be? If not in the dock, then where?
Our perception is that your particular involvement in this operation would best be served by providing support and information to the young woman herself once she is hopefully peacefully passed over to our care. As such, that probably, I'm looking around here, that probably would involve you being sort of ship ready to meet with her and give her the information that you have on why we're doing what we're doing.
Okay.
There is a slight concern that I have that if she has been subject to a powerful question mark, a powerful suggestion, she might be resistant to this. But that's something that I think we're going to have to work our way around as we go. We can't cover all the angles.
I understand. I'll be where you need me.
Thank you.
people on the crew of the other ship, their getaway, what are they going to do?
I think we know.
Until you need me, I'll put his hat back on. I'll keep an eye on him.
Okay.
Puts a cigarette out in a ashtray you did not know it existed, and you're pretty sure you told him not to bring on board. He leaves and heads out, unless there's anything else you guys wish to do. We did start a little late today, so why don't we take our mid-session break now, and we'll come back and see if there's any final preparations you guys need to do. So for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes. All right. I gotta grab two. Hey, everybody at home. Hope you guys are having a great, or folks are having a great weekend thus far. So I'm gonna grab two images I need to snag here. I forgot to load. Let's see here. One is in here. Okay. And I keep hearing sounds. It's because crazy winds today. It's not Anna bumping things around. It's just it's so bloody windy outside.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I could figure out. I could feel like a little bit of migraine coming on, so I drugged myself earlier, but wasn't thinking. But we got a full-on Chinook coming in today, so windy. And go. Come on. Open up. Okay. Oops. All right. Just load these two images. Oh, we're just waiting for Carl to get back, and then we'll be good to go. Oops. All right. Anything while Anchor is at Rakondo's Bazaar, open until 9. Do you guys have anything else you wish to do? Any other preparations to make before we deal with the actual arrival? Who will be attending? Who will be talking? Is one important question. And those who will not be, where will you be?
Could I make some preliminary technical investigations as to what I can do about managing the media inputs? The known and possibly not quite so well-known media inputs in the area where we're going to be undertaking this unexpected discussion with the Zodani agents, and whether I can do anything about massaging and managing what the feed actually shows.
Yes, so you certainly have time to do so. It will be on this. Okay.
That's what I'll be doing. I think I'll be trying to set the digital scene as much as I can, and let people know how far I think I can go with it in anticipation of the actual contact.
Okay. So let's take a look here. Because you definitely have the capacity to do so, and if the question is the time, because I'm assuming you're going to want to do this without tripping your hand to the princess that you're doing it. So maybe under a bit of a time crunch, but that's what we've got +2 modifiers for. So let's see here.
And I'm operating out of question mark, what I'm operating out of. You could argue I'm operating out of a tech level 12 base.
So I expect it's probably going to be more of a local physical access kind of thing. This isn't a only because they're going to have partition systems to avoid. It's a flying city. There's probably really good reasons for why you would firewall off a lot of local control stuff. But physically accessing near the area there, that's definitely something. Hacking a secure computer is a formidable task. 14. that requires 1d6 times 10. Guys!
We haven't done it, have we?
We haven't done luck yet today.
No.
Amazing.
Everyone, go ahead and give us a d6 roll. Has chat been yelling about that? I don't know. They're normally on top of that stuff. Okay.
Oh, look at all this luck we got for that last part of the session.
Looking good, guys. Holy smokes. That is 16 luck. All right. So,
Try not to blow it all in the film.
so then, 1d6 times 10 hours. It is aided by intrusion programs and made more difficult by security programs. So I'm assuming, let's just assume that you're going to get the best intrusion programs you can gain access to here. They will have security programs that will be commensurate with that. So we'll say that comes out in the wash.
Okay.
There is still your actual computer, though, that I believe can grant bonuses. In the same way that, like, medkits can. I wonder if there's a hacking kit.
Probably, almost certainly.
Not in the core, but maybe in the... There we go.
Well, I do have a portable computer.
There you go.
But it's only tech level 12. It's a computer 3.
Okay. So... Let's see here. Computer...
Minus tech level 13, in case that makes any difference.
Okay. You got the new model.
Oh, forgive me. So the intrusion... intrusion software actually might be more helpful. The security sets the difficulty of it. That's where the 14 comes from. So you actually may get a benefit from securing... You'd need it... Ooh. So a tech level 13 computer could run a tech level 13 intrusion program, which would grant intrusion 3. So... And it needs to have computer 3 as well.
Okay.
But that's a 100,000 credit purchase for intrusion 3. It is 10,000 for TL11, which would grant you 2.
Oh, let's spend the money.
Yeah.
People are okay with that. Let's spend the money. Because why do I not think that an intrusion 3 piece of software is going to be useful so we get out of this again?
Pretty good chance of that. Okay, did you say yours was TL12?
Mine, well, Dr. Ilias has got the upgraded model with the LED lights on the front and the...
Right. Yep.
He's got 13.
So then that one is it's got the USB 14 unit on it. It's pretty, basically just an aperture that you stick anything in and it'll accept it. So it's actually computer 4 with the TL13, so you could,
Okay. Let's call it the Lift Wanderer account, and it counts then. And...
So you could actually, there's the leftover bandwidth. You could also get an intelligent interface for 100 credits. Artificial intelligence allows voice control and displays data intelligently, which would allow you to not look like you're obviously hacking something while you're obviously hacking something, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So then dropping down the time, it would mean 1d6 hours. Sorry, 1d6 times 4 hours. Would be if you're taking the +2 to make it faster.
Okay.
So you may need to get yourself in there.
Pretty sharpish.
Yeah.
We haven't got a lot of time. Should I roll the 1d6?
Why don't you roll a stealth for us? Because I'm assuming you're going to sneak in there.
Okay.
Okay.
Jeez, sorry.
I mean, you definitely have experience at this already, so.
Yeah. There's so many good at it. There you go.
All right. So that'll be the difficulty for folks to notice it. You want to dump any luck into that?
Maybe 2 points to get to 8.
To get base level success, okay?
Yeah.
So you got yourself infiltrated. Give us a 1d6 roll, please. See how much time.
Oh, gracious. It's always the way. It's a lot more complicated than I was expecting, guys.
Okay. Fortunately, he got in there well ahead of time. Assuming this means you're going to be able to access it and then wait for another, 4 hours until they arrive.
Yeah.
So then it is a matter of making the roll. So it is a difficulty 16, 1-6, but you are going to have a modifier of 3 to your already, I assume, impressive electronics computers. Look at that! Huge!
Well, that's a 15. Yeah.
Holy smokes. So it's only 1 luck you need then, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Okay. Then you have access to this, and if you, what is the plan? To alter it?
The plan is to loop it so that, if you like, the assignation doesn't happen.
Okay. Are you looping on the empty? Like, what is it that's going to be looping?
It's going to be. It sort of depends on the. If there's something that should happen, then it will happen. But people coming through,
Yeah. So
won't be seen.
One of the things I'd loaded just so you can get it in your mind is the artisanal conveyor, the vessel itself.
Right.
So here.
Oh,
This is
that
what
really
will be
nice.
loading or landing in the hangar and disembarking.
Oh, okay. So it's a standard.
It's a subsidized merchant, I think is the
Subsidized merchant.
class. So that's what will be landing in there. I guess do you want it to be the empty area that is looping? Do you want it to be where?
I switch it on once the ship arrives.
So it'll just show the ship and be waiting to disembark. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Then you don't need to make any additional roll for that. You're going to be able to do that with that impressive roll.
Okay.
So Laris is going to be monitoring the computers during this time. Anchor has picked up his guns and whatnot. Where are you positioning yourself, Anchor?
Well, where are these guys gonna? I guess we're gonna be in the hangar where they're coming in,
Yeah.
and he's gonna try to find himself at a high point.
Sure. Why don't you give us a stealth check, please? See what your difficulty for being spotted will be. And Solomon is to wait on the ship until you guys return?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, we asked him to. Oh, yucky.
Ooh.
How much luck would you like to dump into that?
Can I dump at least 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it'll be the difficulty to spot you. And I'm going to be adding some difficulty. There will be a bane associated with trying to spot you because you are presumably going to be in an an inconvenient spot.
Okay, and I have my concussion rounds loaded.
Okay. Okay. Ultima 1 will be hidden, I assume.
Yep.
And let me grab.
Put on invisible.
Okay. And then it'll be you guys. Let's see here. I can clear the crew out here. And let's use. It's not quite right. And I kind of dig this illustration anyway. I feel like you can almost hear the sound. This is probably a much more primitive. You know what? Maybe this isn't the right one to use. Hold up. What do we have? What do we have for hangers? No. This one here. Yeah, this will do. Give me a sec, guys. Just need to make an adjustment here. To front. Need to say farewell to a familiar face here. Boom. And boom. Go. So this is not, again, not going to be an ideal representation of it, but I think that the wide openness of this is a better visual than some of the more cluttered places. Imagine they're landing somewhere and then disembarking, and they're going to be making their way through customs once they get through those windows. Behind you in the illustration here is likely where the ship would come in and land, and it's concealed somewhere up in one of the gangplanks is where anchor is located, and concealed within one of the service, alcoves or corridors or whatever is where Laris is located. All of you in touch with your comm buds. Dr. Ilias and Alonso, what are you guys going to be wearing to go to this meeting?
A nice suit and mesh armor.
Yeah, I have cloth armor. I probably would wear it.
Okay.
And then, his leather jacket.
Mine is also cloth armor.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Standard Matrix trench coat, I get it. And
I got one of those.
I think you guys have all picked one up at some point. Then, just getting a last name here. Okay.
Alonso, do you want to take the drug to boost your psi power? It's your decision. Like, as a physician, consent is very important. It's here if you want it, but it's your decision.
And if you think that it is the pharmaceutical subdivision of GeDeco that is informing Dr. Ilias's recommendation here, GeDeco, you should really follow your doctor's orders.
I think so. I'm a little nervous, but I do think it's the correct maneuver.
How much does it boost his psi score by?
This will be +4.
So what is your psi attribute now?
Temporary. I'll put temporary 4 in there. Hey, my modifier goes from -1 to 0.
Nice. All right. So what do you think it feels like for Alonso to suddenly have this flush of a more powerful way of accessing even casual emotions?
Yeah, I think it's bizarre. I think from the, to take something that's always been fuzzy and tune it in, it's very strange for him, I think.
Yep. Does this when do your Final Fantasy villain reveal?
Yeah.
Now, at this late hour, my final form!
The chemicals.
Yeah.
I've always just needed them. Yeah, I think it makes him a little fearful of it, of how powerful it is. Oh man, this is, this is what it's always like for them. No wonder people are scared of them, This is powerful.
Okay. Then we assume the hour arrives. Solomon will be the last one you see. Anchor is already in place. Laris is already in place.
Oh, one more thing, Kevin. The only person I told about the concussion bullets was Laris, and of course, probably Ultima One knows, but I didn't tell Dr. Ilias or Alonzo.
Okay.
Just because they're gonna promote this idea that you're gonna die if you don't do this. So I don't want them to.
Oh, got it. Yeah. No, good thinking.
Yeah, and I did get the message, but I've been desperately trying to whisper back and haven't been able to manage to do it.
It's so /W is how you whisper.
Yeah, I just couldn't get the name right, so I've been typing
Yeah, I know.
away.
I did that. I think I did that before, and I was like, "Oh,
Okay.
oops, I'm not there."
Smart. Nice.
You have your flags ready for semaphore to failing. All right, then Dr. Ilias and Alonso. Dr. Ilias, how are you feeling making your way into this meeting? Because I imagine that Alonso is inadvertently picking up on that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dr. Ilias is actually quite nervous and conflicted because he fervently hopes this can be resolved without bloodshed. But if his time in the Trojan Reach has taught him anything, is that sometimes what you hope for and what you get are two very different things. So he's concerned it all go spectacularly wrong. And on his mind will also be that there's the crew of the ship and the other passengers, and there's so many variables that we cannot account for, that if violence breaks out or so he'll be quite nervous.
Okay. And unless you're actively using your telepathic abilities, Alonso, you're not going to be picking up anything. Are you keeping yourself kind of together with this strength and mark? Because when you use your telepathic abilities, it also involves expending psi. So you grow weaker the more you use your powers.
Right. Yeah, he's probably trying to keep it in check. Just save it all up for a absolute burst if these guys try to take over his mind.
Keeping yourself tight in check. All right. The procedure will typically be that the hangar is open to allow the ship to land, and then the doors will close, and then passengers will disembark, and they'll unload shit and whatnot. At what point in that process do you guys wish to enter?
I guess as passengers start coming off the ship, because obviously we want to make sure we catch them in the hangar.
Okay. So let's see here. Okay. As you guys walk out, I can't remember, are either or both of you armed, Alonso and Dr. Ilias?
I believe I have I have a ghost pistol that I bought. Okay. I would probably carry it. I mean, if trouble breaks out, we need to be ready. So yeah, I think that he's got his ghost pistol with him.
So this is the kind of thing that expressly has been permitted by the locals. They would see you and be like, go on through. Dr. Ilias, what about yourself? Remember, the law level here is such that you can't just cruise around with a ghost pistol.
Dr. Ilias has a ghost pistol. I think he was planning on not bringing it to underline we're hoping to resolve this peacefully. But if Alonso has his, and it does go wrong, I think he'll have it with him.
Yep.
But it's probably going to be in one of his medical bags. It's not he's not a trained fighter who has it sort of ready to draw and shoot. It'll be slightly more cumbersome for him to get it out.
Okay. So you can imagine the montage of you guys are leaving your ship, going through customs, the one guy being like, hey, and then someone at customs being like, no, go on, go on. You guys are through. Same thing. The other one thing goes through a scanner. We can see in the scanner that there's obviously a fucking weapon in your medical bag. They look up and they're like, carry on. So you all make your way in. The ship has landed. You can hear the sounds of the disembarking, and there is the announcements that are going on in the hangar about to going through, proceed through customs and whatnot. And you guys are able to walk your way in there. What you see as you go through is in amongst the other, I believe we said there were, which I don't remember offhand how many other passengers there were.
We said there were going to be 12 passengers.
Perfect. Thank you. I left the book in the other room. So 12 passengers are disembarking, and in amongst those 12, you can see a young woman, a young man.
Oh no.
And they are walking along. They are dressed and walking as if they are a couple, and they are walking along with a child. Of kind of it's the way they're with the baggy clothes and with the hair kind of at that middle ground reach. It's actually difficult to tell whether it's a young boy or a young girl. They're walking along, and what do you guys do?
Did Solomon have given us names for these people, or did he know? We're just doing them as Agent 1 and Agent 2, okay.
Correct.
I think that at least we look over at Alonso and it's sort of like, you ready for this? And then start heading towards him to intersect them.
Yeah.
Okay. So the two of you walk over towards that, and as you walk towards them, the two look up at you. Alonso, are your psi shields up right now?
Yes.
Okay.
At least while I'm walking, yeah, probably.
So as you're walking towards them, I think the two of them look at one, and the two of them look over at you. You can feel the probing up against your psi shield. And then the man looks at the woman. He puts his hand out in front of the child, who kind of slows down. And the woman takes a step forward and kind of waits for you to walk over to where they are. They don't have a look of alarm. They are not armed. They are dressed like travelers. They have, the kind of jackets on that would be appropriate for, a warm fall day. The child is dressed similar. They all, when the woman steps forward and she waits for you to walk up, where do you stop? How close do you wish to be?
10 feet away?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay. Okay. And bear with me a second here. The man is the first one to speak, although the woman is closer to you. Well, hello, Doctor. Alonso.
Agent.
There's no break in their thing. What can we do for you?
We are here to take care of the young woman.
Oh?
The parents are very concerned.
The woman is the one who speaks now. I think she is well taken care of now. And the man he looks at her for a moment and looks back at you. I think that There may have been a misunderstanding, Doctor. Looks down at your waist, or your med kit. I don't think there's any need for that.
I would very much hope so.
He looks over at you, Alonso.
Maybe this is when I will like lower my shield to let them.
There's a look of surprise on his face. He kind of and then there's a look of focus on his face.
Yeah.
Who, the man?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's reading.
I see. He says. Looks over at Dr.
I hope
Elias.
you do see.
You have considered the course this puts you on, then?
We have.
He turns. She may be quite upset. You may wish to have Mr. Chase nearby. He looks down and he says, Danny, come here. And the child comes over, and there is an intense period of maybe about 6-7 minutes where he just seems to be focusing on her. And Alonso, with the shields down, you can feel now a little bit more about what is going on around you, and this person is both he and the woman who's accompanying him are quite powerful.
Oh yeah.
While this is going on, the other people are disembarking, other people are going. Laris, you were running this loop on things, and while he is doing this, the woman steps forward. Captain Osmond. Is he dead?
There are no deaths so far, and I hope it will stay that way.
She focuses a look on you. While you are not a telepath, you're fairly confident it contains a promise that they will not be the first. The man finishes up whatever he is doing after a tense period of several minutes. We can see Anchor has to kind of adjust his grip once again because of having his weapon trained for so long. And what you can feel, Alonso, is a wave of sudden upset as this child realizes kind of, well, where am I? And the man looks at her and quite tenderly says, "This is Mr. Santoro. He will take you to Solomon Chase." And there's something going on between them still telepathically. She looks over at you as if, and because your shields are down right now, Alonso, you're kind of hammered by her psychic scans to the point where you actually stagger back a little bit. But then she, as soon as she hits into you, I'm assuming you're not concealing, or there's not anything in there that would, in your immediate thoughts, that would be harm to her.
No, not at all.
She looks back at them, and because she's still kind of entwined in your thoughts, her thought is they're going to kill them. And it's not clear.
Hmm.
Do you put your shields back up in response to that? It's not a pleasant feeling of someone rummaging around, especially someone untrained, in your mind.
Who's gonna kill him?
Probably. Maybe I asked, like, is that her thought?
Her thoughts, yeah. And then
They're
she
going to kill them.
lets go of the man's hands and kind of runs over to you and grabs your hand.
Okay, I take her hand, and I'm just gonna, before I lower the shield, I think in my thoughts I'm gonna say, who's gonna be killed? I'll sort of think, in my own mind.
Her shields are back up. You
Yeah.
can try and break through them.
Yeah, why don't I try? This is fun.
I'll tell you,
Alonzo use
knowing-
psychic powers.
what that will not feel pleasant to her.
Okay. Well, no, then I wouldn't do it.
Okay.
I could try and do it to the agent.
You could try.
I'm so glad none of us know what you're thinking.
I don't know. I mean, he's tempted to because,
So-
I mean, they did it to him. I don't know.
He looks
Yeah.
up at them. It's just
Go for it.
be seeing
Which
you.
one is it? Telepathy? Is that what you use?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
He does. He's going to try.
Okay.
He's going to do it. He's never done this before.
Go ahead.
He's like, he's not even sure. Like, maybe
Yeah.
psychics, it's like
Yeah.
something you do, You like,
So,
What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do?
if you're trying to read surface thoughts,
yeah, read their surface thoughts.
okay, go and give us a telepath check. It'll cost you 2 psi.
Where's my actual psi points?
It's equal to your
Yes.
stat.
Oh, okay. So I have 7 currently. All right, here we go. Enjoy.
Come on.
Wow, the old that one.
Is that Snake Eyes?
No.
No, just one.
No, just
Okay.
one.
We have
So
luck left.
Yeah, we do. No, it's fine. He's never done it before. I think it's just that's how well it went.
okay. So what you do, you're absolutely not able to get in, and what the man looks at you and says, "We'll be seeing you." And he looks over at the woman, does not say her name either, nods. But while you are reaching out, you do pick up something, Alonso. Someone is very worried in here and is... You look over and it's one of the crew, one of the, people who are working the...
Oh,
Oh.
one of the Drinaxy, not stevedores, one of the starport crew. Do you want to try telepath again?
yeah. I can do it on the random crewmate.
Okay.
Yeah, they haven't got shields, so you should be.
Just an 8 you need.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Hey,
Look at that.
my first use of psychic powers.
There we go.
Woo!
So there is a single image that is dominating this thing's thought and a single word.
Uh-oh.
I can capture both of those for you.
Oh my god, what the hell is that?
You're not sure, but the thought in his mind is Deathbot.
Oh god.
You hear the sound of clang, something falling open away from you. And what you all see slowly drift out is a hovering robot that is a priceless relic of a lost empire.
Contingency.
This is... I'm trying to find the size of it. I think it is human-sized. But you sadly have no time to think on this. And Laris, I think, unfortunately, you're unaware of what's going on here.
Okay.
Because you've got the... No, you've got it, Loomis. You can probably see on this. And because of your interest in your recent research into Sindalan artifacts, you know a Sindalan deathbot when you see one. And it is a shockingly short period of time it takes for 2 bursts of its twin-linked laser carbines, and both of the Zodani agents are dead.
Oh, God.
As you can imagine, there are screams in here. The announcements immediately go over to, there is a security emergency. Please be calm. There's a security emergency. Please remain calm. Evie screams.
Yeah, so trying to shield her from the gruesomeness.
Yeah. The Deathbot, it's almost comically, proportioned, continues drifting over, but it continues as if to assure itself that there is nothing left of these 2 fallen, what were human forms.
Yeah, we will.
Anyone else reacting? Anchor is going to scan around and see if there's
everyone
anyone
is
else
scattering. Dr. Ilias and Alonzo, what are you guys doing?
Taking Evie away from the scene.
Okay.
Yeah, shield her from and try and get to cover or to the exit.
Okay.
I want to look her in the face as we're walking away, and I want to say that was not our machine.
She's looking at you as if confused. Do you let your shields go down once again?
Yeah, I'll let her see that's the truth.
Okay. So she just...
I've never seen that thing before in my life.
Buries her face in your coat. You're able to pick her up and just, I guess, get out of here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Laris,
so the Deathbot's not targeting these guys, right? Is it?
No. It was only the 2 agents. And then with them, it kind of drifts over and stops over their charred corpses.
So the sensors on the robot will be conveying the real picture as opposed to the picture that I've been manufacturing.
Very likely.
So the ruse is over. They'll be seeing effectively probably relayed from the bot as to what has actually happened. So I will just stick the loop on loop anyway and do a runner, as we say.
You got it. The notorious.
Anchor's gonna get,
I love the idea that they all speak in South London slang.
Yeah.
nothing to see here.
So, what you guys spare look back, this thing just ominously kind of hangs there and slowly moves. It has all the threat of, I don't know. A refrigerator. Would it not be for the twin laser carbines that are now back into this thing's port? When you guys arrive, do you think the next time you guys all meet up is at the station? Here's the curious, or at the ship, because as you move through customs, nobody moves to stop you. Even though Dr. Ilias and Alonzo, you were armed, no one moves to intervene whatsoever. You all make your way up, and as soon as Evie sees Solomon, she runs over to him and hugs him. And she's confused because you can hear her talking. She's like, "Your mind is quiet." And he laughs and says, I'll tell you. And are you fine? And they kind of, there's a, not reconciling, what's the word I'm looking for? Reunion. Kind of scene that is playing out with them, but this allows the four of you to come together and react to what has happened.
Can we see him in color now?
There is a little bit of color, yeah.
Well, we should have expected as much from Princess Row.
I was not expecting that.
No?
Yeah, maybe I would have.
I was possibly expecting some kind of backup, not whatever that was.
Right. I hope. Maybe I should have fired a couple rounds for posterity, but not at the creature. But
I think my analysis failed. I should have picked up the ancillary crew members or sort of station members that were operating in this zone. They were almost certainly bound to have had agents double checking our movements. I should have accounted for that. Didn't do that.
Well. It's their station.
Ultima One has obviously returned to his Yuri appearance. He says, "What do we do now?"
I think we continue with the plan to GTFO.
Should we though? I mean, we both sides got what they wanted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. While it didn't go down the way Rao had maybe anticipated us to do it, or maybe she correctly anticipated that we wouldn't ultimately go through with her wishes. I think if we try to do a runner now, I don't know. Laris, you seem to think she should be less merciful, or?
I think she's going to be less bothered because she's basically cancelled the threat. I think it will almost certainly affect how she sees our agency going forward. She knows that we are independent and she can't just tell us what to do. She might like that, though. I don't know.
I don't still give her the data from the ship about the other ships that are part of the spy network.
I think we need to be... Yes, I'd like to provide a few filters to the data before she gets it. If we do that.
What are you thinking?
Happy to give her any information on sort of spy Zodani sort of contacts and agents. That can all go to her. That's what she wants. Give her that.
Yeah.
What are you concealing then?
I guess that'll let her know about the other ship, right?
Yeah, I don't necessarily want her to know where all the psionic contact points are, or who they are, because I don't necessarily trust her any more than I do the Third Imperium. But in terms of her desire to shut down or have information on Zodani activity in what she would regard as her part of chartered space, no problem at all.
You could roll for that, but I think that you are good enough in your computer, in your programming, to make it appear as if you had incomplete data.
Okay, I will try to do that.
Okay. Yeah, because that's what your intent is, I think, right? Is to, or do you want her to know that it's redacted?
No, I'd like to just think that it looks like a record.
Okay.
Or a series of records.
Yeah, so you'll be able to, between the TL13 computer, your own expertise, and your and the time you'd have, because you could also take extra time with this. You could certainly deliver more than enough.
Okay.
So, while Solomon and one thing that didn't come up in your conversation with Solomon is what you had planned to do. Did you include the plan to just get the hell out of here, or?
I think
Yes, I think Cornelius mentioned that.
So Solomon walks over, and after he's talked to Evie, because this is when he's learned what's happened, and he says, "She killed them?"
She sent a very clear message in multiple layers. How is Evie doing?
She will be fine in time. I think.
Is it her? Do you think they've done anything? They stared at each other for a long time. They called her a different name before they handed her over, I think, and
My
she seems
head's
suddenly very confused.
still full of drugs, so but my gut tells me she's okay. I don't know if whatever they did to her parents, I don't know if it could so easily be done to someone who's a telepath. I think for now, just making her comfortable and letting her know we're going back, that will be the focus. Your plan was to go, but that was if these people were alive.
Yes, I think we've looked over to the rest of them, have decided not to do that part of the plan, seeing as both us and our benefactor got what we wanted out of this, even maybe not in the way it was initially agreed. There's possibly not much to be gained by doing a runner now.
Where does she need to go? Evie.
Well, if we're not just leaving, you said, Alonso, that there's Peerless Passage contacts that are coming here. You've already done more than enough, and to call it inconveniencing would be an understatement, but you've already done enough to put yourself in danger for us. Peerless said they could help. If these people are with Peerless, I think they may be the ones who were best. I can't afford to pay, and Evie's parents, they're going to need help as well.
Yeah. In which case, make it Peerless, and here's a copy of the data that we agreed that you would pass through.
There's a second time today you've seen a smile on Solomon's face. Thank you. Thank you. I know it's not my place to say, and I know that I'm someone from the outside looking at the Empire or the Imperium. What Peerless is doing out here is trying to help. I don't know if the Zodani are also doing the same in their own way. I don't think it's helping, but they may think that. If you give that information to the Imperium, I'm confident they won't be here to help. The Imperium, as you know, and he's speaking to you as a Darien, they treat us like assets.
We know. I am also looking from the outside onto the Third Imperium. What Peerless is doing is the Darien way.
This information should not go to the Imperium.
Agreed. He said, looking over his shoulder to see where Captain Ganny is.
Yeah. So
The sound
somewhere.
of a shotgun being loaded.
Good session.
James
to
is
miss
on a
there.
train heading out from Amsterdam, and a chill has just gone down his spine.
They've betrayed me.
So he.
I'm just going la 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 la.
Yeah. Anchor actually might be a good one to you know, distract or entertain Evie for the time being.
Oh yeah. Oh, I can introduce her to Lucy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So your rescue lizard centipede thing.
Yeah.
So she's maybe looking at that and laughing because, you know, Lucy is a very strange creature.
Yes.
Solomon will leaving Dr. Ilias, Alonso, and Laris behind. So it'll be at least 2 days until the Peerless. No, it'll be another day or so, about another day and a half or so before Peerless gets here. Because they were it was a toss-up which one would be arriving first. What are you guys intending on doing tonight? Or for the rest of your day, I suppose. I think it goes without saying that Ricardo's Bazaar is open till 9, but I mean, there's only so much commerce one can indulge in.
I mean, I guess we lay low, but are we expecting a contact from the palace, or do we need to contact them, or just pretend it didn't happen?
So I think we should send a message saying thank you for your, essentially sort of saying thank you for your assistance, greatly appreciated. Here's some extra info you might find useful, and send them Laris's slightly doctored info dump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Anchor will confess I was about to open fire on that Jordani who threatened us.
Yeah.
He said, "I'll see you later," but well, the robot intervened.
Yeah. We can.
Oh, and I did say I did have concussion.
So he had non-lethal rounds the entire time. Let me rephrase that. He had less than lethal rounds the entire time.
I don't think we need to go into that level of detail.
Ooh, I think Alonso needs like a couple of Manhattans or something right about now.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder what's going to happen with the Captain Osman and that crew.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, I'm not sure that we want to know.
What are we going to do now?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can, once we've sent a message to the Princess Route, to our benefactor, just saying we acknowledge.
Yeah.
I guess we then just apply for a leaving permit and see what happens.
Yeah. Plan. Yeah. Just put in our.
Like if it's business as usual, presumably we'll get a slot to. And if we're told no, then we'll have to improvise.
yeah, put in
I
our
think Elias would
right.
also like to check EB and Solomon and help Solomon get like, so when he comes off the blockers, it's sort of done steadily and without any side effects.
Yeah.
What's the betting if we go for some cargo and passengers that we have a certain passenger who needs to leave the system? I'm not saying Mother Candle will necessarily be our next passenger, but there's every possibility that she'll get dumped on us. Not wishing to give Kevin any ideas. That he
How
hasn't
wonderful
already
that you're
got.
traveling forward further is precisely where my ministry will be taking me.
Oh my god! So, do you want us to start to arrange either mail or freight or passengers on our exit?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Put in a
business
flight
as
plan.
usual.
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay.
I think that's a great idea. Because we got to get to that place where the job for the Aslan
Yeah.
noble
Yeah, you guys are currently at Drinax, so you guys are right here. And it is, I think, the Thebes is where your destination is. And I think it's, I think Torpal is where there is the base, where there's the contact, the naval intelligence contact.
Yeah.
Though it does appear that the information... So you did redact the information once, Laris.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything to affect this intel that the captain is intent on handing over to his contact? You know what? You actually, I'll let you make a decision. You don't even need to tell us. I'll ask you to tell me at some point.
All right.
But if you do not wish for the rest of the crew to know, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Okay. What else do you guys wish to do while you're in? So I guess if is the plan to go to Torpal, then one of the parts of this Marduk Ogma, this is sort of a pirate chain here, and then to Thebes? Marduk is sort of the most stable of those. Ogum is full of pirates. And like space Viking pirates. The thumbnail that we're currently using, those are pirates from Marduk. Skull!
I mean, how much trouble could we get into if we went there?
I mean, could be a lot of fun. Oh, you know, I may be thinking of Oakham, actually. Those might be the pirates of Oakham. Marduk is the more stable place. I didn't grab my Drinax companion. I'm thinking because there is an adventure called Gods of Marduk that involves there.
Right. I guess Marduk then.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be the second destination after...
Torpal.
Sure, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Drinax, Torpal. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's arrange mail passengers and freight probably from Drinax to Torpal.
Okay. It may not surprise you to learn that as soon as you deliver the intel, and this is not even like a pretense of waiting until people... You are invited for a dinner tomorrow at the Royal Apartments.
Uh-huh.
Great.
Maybe we should do a runner after all.
I will allow you to make your decision as to how you wish to RSVP between now and in 2 weeks' time. So everyone gets a 1 XP for the session.
Nice.
And for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for part 11 of the Pirates of Drinax leg of our campaign. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where all of us are active, and we have channels there dedicated to the Pirates of Drinax campaign, or the our Traveler campaign in any event. As well as most of the games we run on the channel, most of the campaigns we have ongoing. There's also virtual tabletop chat, GM discussion. There's a terrific, knowledgeable, helpful, and friendly community over there, and you are more than welcome to join us. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have an incredible selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs like, I don't know, say, the Dark Eye role-playing game published by Ulysses Spiele, There is also, if you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code Happy Muse Year. It is listed in the description of this video. That will save you 10% on your any purchase of $10 or more. That'll change as of April 15, 2025. If you're listening to this after that time, come back to one of our more recent videos. You'll see what the current discount code is there. The last thing I will say is a huge thank you to our stalwart players or travelers. So Graham, Carl, David, and Jeffrey, thank you so much for playing today, guys. Congratulations on saving Evie and on making an impression on Princess Rao. And for those listening at home, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our travelers are encountering while trying to do the right thing in the mean streets of the flying city of Drinax. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.